joining us here today in what should be an exciting session. My name is John Falsetto, and I'm the Senior Director of Products for Graphics and Productivity here at Corel. Whether you're joining us as someone brand new to CorelDRAW Graphics Suite or are an existing customer, we hope you're going to learn something new here today. The theme in our latest release of our award-winning graphic design software is Creativity Meets Productivity. As many designers and businesses have been impacted by the events in the past 2 years, it's more important than ever that CorelDRAW continues to deliver as a professional design toolkit that not only offers incredible ongoing value, but allows you to transform your creativity into flawless, profitable results with total efficiency. Many customers around the world rely on CorelDRAW Graphics Suite to do just that. You'll hear some of those customer stories. And at this point, we would also like to thank our loyal community, from which you'll see some stunning artwork also being showcased here today. All the new features and enhancements you're about to see have been released this March and are available to both anyone on a subscription or to any of our enterprise licensed customers who are on active maintenance. At the end of the demo, we'll also be on hand to answer any questions. So please don't forget to post your questions in the chat console to the right of your screen, and we'll endeavor to get through as many responses as we can. So without any further delay, let's get started.
My name is Stefan Lindblad. I'm an artist and illustrator, but I also do graphic design, so I would probably call myself a graphic artist as well. I live and work in my hometown Stockholm, Sweden primarily. I've been self-employed since, 20 plus years or something like that. But also I benefit so much from CorelDRAW because it allows me to work very quickly and intuitive. I always say that when people ask me.
I want to take the opportunity to welcome Mo Jogie, who will take over the main demo portion of the event in a few moments, to show the new CorelDRAW Graphics Suite in action. Mo is an award-winning artist, designer, writer, and activist. Based in South Africa, Mo studied fine art, graphic design, and multimedia, and has worked with many leading international brands in the creative industry. One thing we've tried really hard to do at Corel is to build much stronger and ongoing relationships with our customers. In the past few releases, we have channeled resources into our subscription offering as being an enabler of innovation. We are now providing exclusive features, functionality, and cloud services to subscribers, who themselves also see the tremendous value of staying active. Last fall, we released an update exclusively for our subscribers and licensed customers who are on active maintenance. And this new release is also exclusive to you on a subscription or a license with active maintenance basis. As we've seen in recent years with web experiences and social media platforms, personalization is becoming the norm to allow users to be presented with information and content that is relevant to them. While it might be easy to take the position that sometimes personalization is taken too far, for example, being presented with social media ads or Facebook content that feels like your mind is being read, there's little doubt that if done properly, with consideration to people's privacy, and with their authorization, that personalizing content can go a long way in making people more productive in their activities. We believe that software, including graphic design software, can offer tremendous benefits to users with this personalized approach. There's so many tools and product functions available to help design, but it has become more and more important to be able to do so in an efficient and meaningful way. And personalization goes way beyond simply the user customizing their workspace to suit their needs. To this end, we're very excited to be starting down this path of personalization in our new release by providing you with an opportunity to answer a few quick questions, which then allows CorelDRAW to deliver unique learning materials catered to your specific needs. But this is truly just the tip of the iceberg, as we will continue to build out on this concept and provide more and more personalized experiences to CorelDRAW users with future releases. Collaboration has become table stakes in delivering effective software workflows where many stakeholders are involved, particularly with so many remote interactions in the past 2 years. We recognize that when we expedited the initial release of our collaboration tools within coreldraw.app in our 2020 release, we have continued to refine our collaboration capabilities by including new features and streamlining workflows with subsequent releases, and this continues with our latest version. Aside from key areas of focus like personalization and collaboration that address new and emerging trends, It's very important that we continue to advance the suite in areas that add value to existing workflows and feature usage. So let's get into it. Mo, it's your turn to show us how CorelDRAW Graphics Suite is your choice to meet creative goals in a most productive way.
Thanks, John, and thanks everybody for joining us here today. So I have CorelDRAW open, and the first experience we have is, of course, this new learning interface. What this new version allows us to do is develop a profile. So I'll do this very quickly, okay? You can choose your level of experience with the software. You can choose different areas of interest. And then, of course, what it does is it finesses the content in the Learn Inspector. Have a look at what's happened on the right-hand side. Beyond that, there's a whole host of additional learning content on the welcome screen. Let's jump into an actual project. What we're sharing with you today is a multi-dimensional brand execution that covers the full gamut of different possibilities when it comes to communication platforms. I'll go ahead and jump onto page 1, okay? What I'd like to do with this logo is I would like to create it as a symbol. And since CorelDRAW Graphics Suite is so huge and so deep, oftentimes it's difficult to remember every single aspect of what you're doing. So I'll head over to the Learn panel. And from here, I'm going to look for symbols. The software comes back to me with a whole host of different possibilities, from accessing videos through to help topics that are relevant for what I'm wanting to do. And as you can see, the content is focused on what I'm wanting to achieve. So heading back to CorelDRAW, let's go ahead and select this logo, head over to the Symbols Docker, and simply drag this across. And there's our new symbol, right? So I'll go ahead and rename this and call it Logo. Okay, so you've no doubt observed that this is a multi-page document. Let's head back to the Pages panel, and I'll jump to Multipage View once again. Here we have an 8-page document, okay? I'll head over to the spread pages 4 and 5. And what I'd like to do here is add a spread just below it. So of course we'll hit the new icon. Fairly obvious, right? And what you'll see CorelDRAW do in this new version is place that spread directly where I requested it, and in the process, give me direct control over my document. All that's left is for us to populate that with content, okay? So this is a facing page document. We have the ability to enable or disable spreads. Watch what happens when we do this. You'll now see that the pages are being reflected individually. Let's go back to show spreads. What we'd like to do is head over to our new page that we've just added, which is page 6 and 7. I'll jump to single page view, and what Corel does is it nests the content perfectly for me. Let's go ahead and make some edits to this image, okay? We'd like to explore some of the high-level non-destructive adjustments that's available to us in PHOTO-PAINT. Here what we're going to do is we're going to tag between CorelDRAW and PHOTO-PAINT. So I'll select this beautiful Aurora image and hit the Edit Bitmap icon. This will fire up PHOTO-PAINT, of course. With PHOTO-PAINT open, I'll hit my favorite shortcut F4, which will nest the document perfectly for us. Then what we'll do is head over to the Adjustments Docker. There have been a number of enhancements over here, you guys. The first is the new Thunderbolt icon at the bottom of the panel. Clicking on this gives us all of the non-destructive possibilities. I'll choose Tone Curve, and we'll do a typical S-curve here, okay? Then let's add another one, and this time I'll choose Vibrance. And for Vibrance, I'm going to push up the saturation. And that looks fantastic. So let's hit the Finish Editing button over here, and say yes to save the document. When we head back to CorelDRAW, that change is instantaneous. I'm sure you'll agree that the seamless, non-destructive adjustments workflow is something that's going to make your and my design lives that much easier.
That looks great, Mo. Thanks for showing the new personalized learning, symbols and page view enhancements, and for demoing the new photo editing features in Corel PHOTO-PAINT. What are you going to show us next?
Let's continue on our design journey. Let's open this brand design guide. This guide is based on the rich template set that ships with the software. I'll jump to the Pages panel, and from here I'll go for single page. I'll jump over to the Type Guide, and on the Type Guide, I'd like to do a typographic exploration. Of course, here I'm going to invoke the power of Font Manager. Some really exciting things have happened here. First off, we have this online category which allows us to access our CorelDRAW fonts, as well as the extensive Google font library without having to do cumbersome downloads and using up valuable hard drive space. Of course, we can go ahead and filter content based on what we're looking for, and we can make it relevant for the design job at hand. Let's explore this Google Fonts entry. You will note that in both cases for CorelDRAW fonts as well as Google Fonts, the fonts are online, and if you look at the right hand side, you can clearly see they're not installed, okay? So I'll hop over to Google Fonts and choose Variable Fonts. And here you can see you get real-time visual feedback on whatever font choices you're making. Of course, another handy addition is the ability to remove filters quickly. Let's see how this would come together inside of CorelDRAW. Again, I can hop out to Filters, scroll over to Font Technologies, enable Variable Fonts, and start to work with those fonts directly in my design. Let's head over to the color palette. Not only does CorelDRAW take care of you and I from a font perspective, but color is also particularly top of mind. What do I mean by this? Let's open the palettes that ship with the software. And it's worth noting that Draw and its sister applications offer a rich collection of the latest color palettes from leaders in the industry, including Pantone, Roland, DIC, Focal Tone, and more. And here you can see the quick deployment of a Pantone color. You'll observe that the Pantone swatch is 22227C, and what is particularly neat is CorelDRAW giving us the breaks for everything from RGB to hexadecimal color. So you're fully covered when deploying assets across multi-dimensional brand executions.
I love our online font integration, as typography is just so important. And of course, color and continued support of Pantone is so important for our users. Worth noting as well is that with this new release, we are providing our subscribers with 2 new professionally designed template bundles to help provide some inspiration.
Okay, so now it's starting to get really exciting, right? So let's look at this document, which is a multi-asset, multi-platform play of the entire brand execution. We've got everything from banners through to video templates and more. I'll start our conversation by pointing out the video template. If I click on that, you can see we've got our action safe and title safe guides, as well as our bug and our lower third. More about this later. Looking at the entire document once more, we'd like to bring the logo and the stripe assets onto the promo items page. And there you have it. The same is true for these stripes. Once in position, we'll just resize it very quickly so it fits better. Awesome, so you can see that moving content between pages is fairly straightforward. Let's look at another possibility. We'll head over to the banner. So let's select all the objects and group it. And let's do a proportional scale of 50% so that it's more in line with its actual size. We'll then get the page to mimic the size of the objects it is hosting. So we'll click on the Auto Fit Page icon and choose Auto Fit Page. That easy. Of course, production requirements would want header and footer information for this banner. So we're going to extend those. Let's see how that would work. We'll head over to Auto Fit Page again. Let's use 100 for this example. And of course, it does it all the way around. Let's select the banner page, and you can see that you have controls like any other object. And this is quite a cool update, courtesy of CorelDRAW users like you and I. So be sure to give the team feedback as you use the product because they take it very seriously. I'll go ahead and pick up this midpoint, drag inward, hold in Shift, and you can see it behaves like any other drawing object. Now what we're able to do is reposition it better. Good, so that's done. So whilst we were unpacking all of this fun, client has called in and said, hey, I need a quick horizontal banner ad. And we go, no problem. So I'll go ahead and tag the Facebook feed. I'd like it to live approximately here. Okay. And I'll click the new page icon. So CorelDRAW places it in a position that is most appropriate. We're going to resize this. Of course, we've jumped from millimeters to pixels because that makes the most sense, right? We'll then go ahead and select the page and let's change its values to 1800 by 380 pixels. Once again, we're able to move it into position, right? Let's zoom in over here. Let's rename the page and let's drop in some artwork. So we've pre-created some content on the Facebook feed page. So we'll just go ahead and select it and move it into position. We'll hit the letter P to center it perfectly and then of course zoom into the page. And as we did previously, we'll set the margin to 0 on auto fit page. Fantastic. So there you can see a multi-asset, multi-platform play all coming together in the same document.
I love that, Mo. So important to be able to take a campaign and have multiple output dimensions all in one spot, with the ease of reusing assets and making them fit with just a few clicks. Earlier, you showed how the logo is saved as a symbol in order to be able to use it again and again in the design. In addition, CorelDRAW received an update in the fall of last year with new asset management functions, which we have now improved again. Can you show us something about how to deal with symbols using the example of the logo which is used in the various assets here?
When it comes to asset management in this new version, it's a real game changer. Let's have a look at how this works. The revamped Assets Docker gives you access to both local and network assets, cloud assets. This is content that has been shared, as well as any symbols, and of course linked assets. If you look at our design, the Iceland logo is indeed a linked asset. And this is a symbol. This is particularly valuable for a workflow like we are currently working on. So for example, if I go to the promo items page and enable that, it is sans a logo at the moment. So I'll head over to the symbols Docker and you can see we've got the Iceland logo symbol. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this Iceland logo symbol and drag it onto the page. We'll then go ahead and resize it. And because intelligent guidelines are enabled, it makes it really easy for me to work and to align content. Okay, so that's looking cool. So the client has come back with a request and they would like the bottom part of the Iceland logo iceberg converted to a soft blue. This would mean an edit and replace in every single iteration of our artwork. But since it's a symbol, it makes it really easy. Let's see how this comes together. What we'll do is we'll head over to the Assets Docker and click on the linked assets. We'll select the symbol and click on the edit icon. Of course, you can right click as well. This takes us to the symbol asset. There's our symbol, okay? What we'll now do is we will choose the familiar edit master button and this takes us to the master object. The object is obviously grouped, so we'll head over to the Objects Docker, dive into the group, pick up this group of 3 objects and pick up a color that the client might be happy with. Now that we're done, we'll head over to the Finish button to confirm our changes. Remember that this is a cloud asset, which means that you could deploy this across multiple teams anywhere in the world. I'll head to the File menu and choose Save. From here, CorelDRAW will save this content back to the cloud. I'm hoping you're seeing the value of working with content in the cloud. Tremendous value, right? With that edit complete, let's go ahead and close our symbol. And now we've returned to our brand execution document. I'll deselect everything, okay? If we head over to the Assets Docker, and note that I'm on the linked assets icon here. You can see the cloud icon has a red dot above it. This indicates that the symbol has been edited. What we simply need to do is right-click on that symbol, choose Sync Linked Assets, and that update will happen through the entire document for us. I'm sure you'd agree that that is super cool.
That's great, Mo. How about sharing and exporting multiple assets, which can become quite complicated with different elements and output formats potentially being required?
When it comes to sharing and exporting your content, the Export Docker is next level. Huge enhancements have been made here. Let's have a quick look. I'll go ahead and pick up the banner page, okay? Then head over to the Export Docker, choose the format, some high demand formats here including PDF, SVG, and of course EPS for print folks. These formats join the ever-expanding list of possibilities. And we'd like to see how this is going to pan out, right? We'll go ahead and add that asset. it picks up on the page name automatically. As opposed to doing one at a time, let's go ahead and select all of the print components. Head over to the Export Docker. We're in PDF. We'll hit the add icon and all of those components come through. Let's head back to Pages. We'll select the rest of the elements. Check how cool this is, you guys. We'll head over to Export and we'd like to push these out as PNGs. So we'll hit add once again. And there you have it, very, very easy to work with. We can enable and disable the export of any asset. I'd like to tag the video template, okay? So I'll go to the video template page, head back to objects, and you can see we've got different components here. We'd like to export these individual components rather than export the entire page so that they can be animated in video editing software like Video Studio or Pinnacle Studio, okay? So let's select those three elements. Head over to the Export Docker once again. We'll choose PNG once more and hit the export icon. And there you can see the individual elements coming through. Of course, you can go ahead and change all sorts of controls like resolution, transparency, and so on with just a single click. When you're ready to export, one nifty little button, right? That's me done. Thank you to the Corel team for having me, and thank you for being here today. I'm sure you'll agree that this release of CorelDRAW Graphics Suite brings together a huge amount of productivity enhancements and creative finesse to our favorite graphics software suite.
Thank you so much, Mo, for that excellent demo of our latest release of CorelDRAW Graphics Suite. You've now seen some of the many enriched features based on direct suggestions from you, our loyal users, including time-saving multi-page view and pages improvements, valuable multi-asset export enhancements, and not to forget about the non-destructive, contextual, real-time photo editing experience. We want to encourage you to try out the CorelDRAW Graphics Suite March 2022 subscriber update yourself with a 15-day free trial available for download on www.coreldraw.com. And with the new personalized learning experience that is also part of the trial, you will experience an easy start into design, illustration, page layout, typography, image editing, and many more creative workflows for productive cross-media output. We'll be right back to answer your questions.
We are going to be 18 years old next year with almost 40 employees here in Germany, and we love it. With CorelDRAW, it's amazing to see how it grows in the same speed and we are. So I have my perfect partner for the last 18 years.